All right. Well, what's happening in the markets? Last week, the S&P 500 made a new high. Today, different story. So we got to take a look at this. And then also, Powell was speaking yesterday, and he made some comments that the markets don't like too much. So we'll definitely take a look at this. And as you can see, we are not in our studios. We are right now live from Cancun, where we spent the week with our mastermind members. Anyhow, welcome to Coffee with Marcus and Mark. Today is Monday, February the 5th. In this show, we're going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets and how we are trading it. I really don't want to look at charts. No. Let's take a look at charts and see what's happening. So, gosh, last week another record high for the S&P 500.
Yeah, S&P just up and away, gapping higher, rallying to new record highs, and it seemed like nothing can hold this rally down. Closing higher, I think 13 out of the last 14 weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you think about it, that's since November, only one down week. The rest all just up and away.
So it looked like nothing could hold this market down. And then lo and behold, it just took 160 minutes episode.
Exactly. So yesterday, 60-minute episodes, Powell spoke again.
Yeah, go figure. You have a 2-day policy meeting where there's minutes being released and a press conference and all of the reiteration there, what the Fed intends to do, what their thoughts are. But traders said, nah, we're not buying it until Sunday afternoon or evening.
Until Powell said one more time, listen, we are not going to lower interest rates anytime soon. We want to see what's happening. And yet, Fed funds futures traders still 14% are considering that maybe during March there will be a rate cut, even though Powell said now several times, no, not going to happen.
Sure. So can you hear me now? This is where Fed funds futures, maybe not, but the yields spiking show that, maybe there's something to this and the Fed keeping rates higher longer.
Yeah, let's take a look at this because that's kind of the news this morning. I mean, the 10-year yield today up 3.6%. Right now, trading at these highs again that we made in January. And I mean, just what, last week, we were below 3.9%.
Yeah, big jump there. I mean, look, it took weeks to get up there before in just 2 days recently. So a little bit of a disconnect. And I think the truth, even Powell, he really just said, look, we feel comfortable. This isn't quoting him, but
No.
we feel comfortable with where we're at, but we might have a ways to go to get down to our 2% level. So we're keeping the data in mind, right? That's what he's always said.
Right. And talking about data, I mean, last week we had the jobs report that came in much stronger than expected, indicating a strong economy. And then this morning, we also had the ISM service PMI coming in much stronger than expected at 53.
Exactly. Another data point suggesting that the economy is doing well and we are in an area of expansion rather than contraction, which is positive for the economy, which also supports the Fed with potentially keeping rates higher longer.
Yeah. And there's not much on the economic calendar this week other than a bunch of Fed members speaking. I mean, after the blackout time that is usually before the FOMC meeting, now everybody can speak. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is only taking us through Wednesday.
Yeah, it's like the Fed members are on their world tour now, trying to get a little spotlight after that lockout period. And you never know. It's always Powell that's closely watched and can move the market or has the potential to move the market more. But you never know from the other Fed members if they're going to say something that gets the markets going.
Yeah, but other than this, there's nothing on the economic calendar this week. In focus, still Powell, the Fed, and earnings. Let's switch over to the earnings calendar, and this is where we actually see that we still have another busy earnings week. This week, 107, another 20% of the S&P 500 companies reporting earnings.
Sure. And so last week we had some of the biggest names, but it's still a busy week with some large companies reporting, a lot of Dow components.
Yeah, McDonald's before the bell. We'll talk about this. Caterpillar, Eli Lilly. Then we have Disney reporting earnings. We have CVS. We have Pepsi reporting earnings. So, I mean, lots of Dow. Last week it was very, very tech heavy.
Sure.
And this week it is more good old Dow components.
Yeah, and some movement with McDonald's and Caterpillar this morning.
Yeah, let's actually start with McDonald's because, I mean, this has accelerated the selling. This morning, it looked like McDonald's was only down 1%, now down 3.8%. For McDonald's, that's quite a lot.
That is a big move, and they reported mixed earnings. So I think that earnings per share was better, revenue was a little bit weak.
Yeah. But they introduced its best burger, which looks like this.
Okay.
So now that you know, right? I mean, in case you're wondering, so this is
That's the best, huh?
before, this is after, and this is now the best burger.
And I don't think that's a picture McDonald's took. So, okay.
I mean, now McDonald's.
I've heard about your infamous blue cheeseburgers, and I think that yours might be a little better than that.
I haven't had a burger at McDonald's in I don't know how many years, so I wouldn't know. If you guys have tested the best burger, let us know in the comments. What do you think about it and how it tastes? If it tastes that amazing, yeah. I don't think there's a McDonald's anywhere close by here. Otherwise, I would say let's go and test it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So this is where McDonald's this morning lower, and then Caterpillar also reporting earnings this morning before the bell, and Caterpillar up. Well, look at this, pulling
Huge
back.
reversal.
I mean, huge reversal. There's a 5-minute chart. I mean, we were up massively right now, just hanging in there.
And this was really interesting because they actually had a huge earnings beat, just a phenomenal quarter. I want to say that they beat earnings by like 10% or something like that.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, 9.77 earnings.
So just a impressive quarter there, but I don't know, maybe some yields putting a little pressure with the spike in yields.
I think because if you look at this were initially this morning, the markets were saying, we don't care about yields. We are looking at a 5-minute chart of the S&P, but then
falling with the broad market.
Yeah, and so we see the Dow down 1%, the S&P down 0.6%, the Nasdaq down 0.7%. VIX a little bit up here, 3.1%. That's not a whole lot. That's the Monday effect, I want to say.
I'd say it's because stocks are down.
You'll see. We've talked about it. Every single Monday you see that the VIX is up 2 to 3%.
Okay.
All right. Want to take a look at some of our positions?
Sure, why not?
Let's do this. All right. So today, let's see. What do we have here? Let's actually take a quick look at the heat map here, because on the heat map, Tesla to down 6%.
Look at that.
I didn't see any news that's driving this move lower in Tesla.
No, I didn't really dive into Tesla and why, but I agree. Nothing stood out headline-wise.
If you want to buy Tesla at a discount right now, it's at 176. You see that the 165 puts are available. So if you like the idea of picking those up, they're providing some good premium right now.
True.
All right, but let's see what we have here. And first up is CSIQ. CSIQ not liking these higher interest rates at all. I mean, interest rates up, 3.5%? That's driving CSIQ lower.
Exactly. And so this isn't what we want to see, but it's also to be expected. We know that it's an interest rate sensitive stock, and the lows that we had versus the highs that we've had recently, just an inverse move between yields. So
I mean, both CSIQ and NEE, I mean, they have already proven that they are ready to explode as soon as Powell keeps signaling, or the Fed gang keeps signaling, okay, we start lowering interest rates, because that's where, when we first heard, okay, let's actually zoom out a little bit here on NEE. We see it nicely here. That's when they were saying, okay, maybe we're done raising interest rates, right? This was around November that markets saying, okay, they said that they would raise 2 more times this year. They didn't. And this is when we see that NEE really nicely moved up. Let's just switch to a 6 months time period here. Around 36%. That's a pretty good move.
Sure. Nice comeback when everybody was excited, and now the narrative isn't helping
Right.
for the time being.
And we had the same in CSIQ happening here. So CSIQ had a really nice run up when we heard, okay, we're done. That's 50%. Look at this, 50%
Huge
run.
move, yeah.
So this is what we'll see again as soon as we hear or as we see interest rates falling again. All right, CZR, Caesars Entertainment. Last year I sold the
I think it was last week.
last week.
Maybe you did it last year too, but definitely last week.
If you take me out of the studio, I'm saying all sorts of crazy stuff. All right, so last week I sold the 43 put. This expired worthless, and then today I saw another opportunity to take a trade in Caesars again, and earlier today the 40.5 was available. So right here.
Yeah, some interesting volatility in the options. You're able to get that one. It was 5% below the current stock price. That's the difference between the strike and the stock. And then on our chart, we see that's the min strike line there. And
so I got it
nice
for
premium.
25 cents. And that gave me a really nice premium for a potential drop of 5%, 44% annualized. I like this. Initially, I was looking at the 40, but then I thought, 40.5. I mean, last week I was happy owning it at 43.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll be very happy owning it at 40.5. So that worked out great. And then we have MRO.
And
another of my trades.
You were assigned.
I'll talk about it. Yeah, so MRO, I sold the 2250. Let me just go to a 2-year chart that we see it better, what I did there. So I sold the 2250 put. I did get assigned, and this is where this morning I did sell the 2250 call. And I got 20 cents for it. I finally got filled.
Yeah, it took you all morning.
Took me all morning. But we see here, this looking nicely, 64% annualized.
Nice.
So I was able to do this. Really liking this trade. I'm okay with this one. GDXJ, that's a trade that you took last week.
I did. I sold the 33 put expiring this Friday. So 33 being tested. I like the way this chart moves. And so GDXJ, GDX would be an alternative. So we'll see where it ends up at the end of the week.
Yeah. And then we also have UPS. Not much happening there. UPS this morning, hang in there. I mean, it seems that we found some support right here at 140 right now. And now we need to wait for this V-shaped formation.
Exactly. It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. Now then also on the WTF analyzer on, when did we enter MET? Friday. Hold on. I have it right here. MET. So this is super, super interesting because right now we're only down 17 cents. Today we had ex-dividend day. So the dividend being 50 cents, we would expect the stock to drop by 50 cents. In a weak market, this being only down 26 cents, 2 point.
I hear you. Down 0.3%, which is 17 cents. And you're right. That is a little bit of an oddity just because the broad market's down. And on an ex-dividend date, you could expect a drop in the stock that reflects the dividend price. So this one, the WTF strategy and collecting dividends, the dividend's a bonus every now and then, but not something we expect. But hey, we'll take it.
That's good because we bought it at 65.60. You actually, ELGL.
65. Entered late, got lucky.
Yeah, but I mean, right now, I mean, we can basically say that our break even is 52 cents lower because we do receive the dividend. Right now, trading at 65.78. So, I mean, for both of us, already in the green.
Yeah, absolutely.
That. Cool. What else going on? I mean, we looked at a few other stocks today, but you're full, I'm full with my trade, so I think this is looking good.
Yeah, and there were some oil and gas plays that popped up, but I think you're great with MRO. And I think we need to be careful with some that are reporting earnings. Like Oxy has earnings coming up, so preferred MRO. I think Exxon on Mobil was one to consider. EOG was another one, maybe.
Yeah, I think in 2 weeks we have several all stocks reporting earnings here. Yeah, but it's coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
So, but I'm happy with this trade. I mean, again, got some nice premium on selling the calls, and I will see what happens. All right, let's go back to the overall market, and we're pulling back a little bit. I mean, this is like, it's almost like a rubber duck in the bathtub. You try to hold it down, and you can't. I mean, it's snapping back. I mean, we still have ways to go until we are hitting break even today, but I think until we go to yesterday, Friday's closing price, but I think we'll pull a bit higher.
Looks like
I don't
it
think
right
that
now.
we'll get positive for the day.
No, I'm with you there, but it does look like traders want to take away some of those losses.
And you already owe me 2 cookies.
I do.
One cookie was from last week.
Yeah.
And this morning a cookie. What for was that cookie?
Oh, it was I said you were going to get filled on the MRO call sooner.
You said within 30 seconds, and we timed it.
That was a bad bet. My bad bets are cookies, though.
It's only cookies. Yeah.
Your bad
I
bets
don't
are
need
boxes of
freezer
steak.
space for that. Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, all right, we got to go back here to trade with our mastermind members and talk about some advanced concepts. If you enjoyed this show here live, oh, look at this. I can do.
Whoa.
Did you see that?
Whoa.
Oh. Okay, I have no idea what's going on, but.
I love it.
Okay, anyhow. This works! Okay, so if you're liking our special effects that I don't know, I have no idea how they happen, but if you're enjoying the show, give us a like, and if you think that this was entertaining, even though I was bumbling through it, click the share button right below and share it with others.
I got an idea.
Okay?
You take me out to Chinese food tonight, and I got some cookies for you at the end. All right. Happy trading, everybody.
Okay. Have a great rest of the day.